My timing couldn't have been worse. I was transitioning out of the military, going through a divorce, and I had no business experience. I heard so many reasons why this would never work. The backpack market's too crowded. The GORUCK challenge is too extreme. Nobody's that crazy. Rucking will never happen outside the military. Never, they said. Sometimes, you just have to know where to start. Welcome to GORUCK. We're ready when you are.
Hey, what's going on YouTube? Rylan here in the garage gym, and today we're talking about GORUCK and a bag that I've had for 8 years and used it daily. So we'll talk about this GORUCK bag right here. I'm going to tell you about some differences, the things that went wrong with this one, and why I recommend them. So stay tuned. Hey, welcome back. So today we're talking about GORUCK bags, in particular this backpack here that I've had. I had to actually go back in my emails, and it's nice you can do this now, and see when I bought this bag. And I bought it back in 2014, so it's 8+ years old. I use it daily. It has been all over the world with me, traveling for work, and been to some very remote places on the planet. And I can tell you that it has worked really well. And this thing is awesome. So let's talk about what's GORUCK. First of all, who's this company? GORUCK was founded, I think, in 2008 by ex-Special Forces Army guy and his wife, who was a CIA, worked for the CIA at the time. And they founded this little backpack company in Africa when they were stationed over there or living over there, and basically they just grew it out of their garage. And today this GORUCK products are basically, they're sold by Rogue. Rogue sells them on their website, and also sold by obviously GORUCK on their website, and they're used all over the world. And they basically took the idea of a backpack and made something that works really well in a tactical situation or a military situation, covert situation, or just frankly using it just to travel. If you want to grab some photography gear or you want to just go on vacation, you can use their bags and they don't stick out. I see a lot of guys with backpacks I call tactical backpacks. They're just covered in clips and carabiners and molly, and there's stuff strapped to them everywhere. These bags are not that at all. They're very streamlined. They're very, very sleek. There's nothing to get caught on anything. There's nothing to fall off the bag. They're very simple to use, and all the compartments inside are basically prearranged. You can add some molly attachments to the inside of them, but they're very well laid out, and I'll kind of go over sort of how I use it. I'll show you some B-roll pictures of this particular bag. Remember, this bag's 8 years old. It's been used every day for 8 years. So it is beat up. Yes, I've had to wash it a few times. It's not a big deal. That doesn't hurt these bags. They prove their products by doing rucks, which is basically a long, heavy hike with a bag or some sort of a heavy bag on your back. And on these rucks that they do, obviously GORUCK, rucking, and they'll go out and they'll go in the ocean with these things. They'll go through mud, they'll go through whatever, and then you just take your garden hose them off, dry your bag, it's good to go the next day. The materials they use are very high quality, and I'll talk about a little bit about this one and some of their models, because it does get a little bit confusing. I'll try to give you some breakdown on that. This particular bag here from 2014 is a GR2. So when they first came out, there was two bags, and it was a GR1 and a GR2. So this GR2 here is a 40-liter capacity. It's the biggest bag you can take as a carry-on and still bring it on the plane. So that's why I chose this bag. Doing that, I do a lot of flying all over the world. I needed something that I could use as a carry-on and be big enough to pack enough clothes for say 2 or 3 days, travel. So you've got food, water, all that other stuff. Sometimes some overseas flights can be long. It's nice to have extra, extra space. So the other one is a GR1. And what's the big difference between the GR1 and the GR2? Because now, fast forward 8 years, they make the GR1 in 2 different sizes, and then they make the GR2 in 3 different sizes. So 40 liters is the biggest size of the GR2. I believe there's a 34 and then also a 26 liter bag in the GR2. The difference between the GR2 and the GR1 is the GR2 has 2 compartments. So you can see this compartment here folds out, and then you still have another compartment in here. So the GR1 just has a single zippered compartment. So that's the difference between the GR1 and GR2. Now from there you can select the lengths. The widths are the same. The depths are roughly the same on the GR2. I think it's 9 inches. And the only thing that changes is just the length of it. Now the pack is pretty long. This one's 22 inches long. So if you're, say you're shorter and you're say 5'7" and shorter, you probably don't want to go to this long of a bag. I would suggest that you go to the 34 liter bag, the 20-inch one, so it's kind of in between the smallest and not the biggest, because this is a fairly long bag. So that is, try to zip this up. So that's the differences between the GR1 and the GR2. It's just 1 compartment, 2 compartments. Now, we've talked a little bit about the volume and the liters and the different sizes. We kind of covered that a little bit. So the biggest one that you can get that's carry-on legal is the GR2 in the 40 liter capacity. So one big reason why I bought this bag, and then they're not cheap. Let's talk about that. Price on these, back when I bought this one, this was over $300. And again, that was about 8 years ago. This same bag today, you're looking at about $400 plus taxes, shipping, etc., $450 for the same bag. So it's increased a little bit, but you're getting lifetime quality on this. To me, it's worth it. And I'll give you a reason why. Previously to this bag, I had like a backpack, you know what I'm talking about, the ones that have stuff all over them. And I had my laptop in it, and my laptop, the bag dropped basically and hit the ground, cracked and banged up my laptop. So my MacBook got messed up big time. And you guys know how expensive MacBooks are. So that was a big bummer, because my last bag did not have a bomb-proof laptop carrier section like this bag has. So that little mishap with my last backpack, and got my laptop fixed. This on the very back has a bomb-proof laptop compartment. So it has a very stiff, thick, foam reinforced pad here on your back, and then another pad on this side here. So you slip your laptop right in there. It's padded along the bottom. Zip it up, and done deal. Now your laptop's secure. No matter where you go, it's not going to get messed up. We know what baggage handlers are like. We know what just traveling is like in general. Stuff's going to get messed up. So that feature alone right there, if it saves you a $2,000 laptop, is worth spending some money on a backpack. Now again, I think I paid just over $300 for this 8 years ago, and I'm still using it every day. So if you start looking at how long this is going to last, probably my whole life, it's really not that much money when you actually look at the life of the bag. So, okay, problems. What problems have I had? The only issue I have had with the bag, and let's see if I can find it here. Yeah, right here. So this is the only issue I've had with the bag, again, using it every day, is the zippers have like a, almost like a heat shrink type piece of plastic that's just melted around the actual zipper itself, where there's a little tab to pull. It's basically, 550 cord that's been wrapped up. My only problem I've had is that piece of plastic basically just wore off and fell off from using it so much, opening and closing. So that's it. That is the only issue. No tears. I've had no no seams let go. I believe it's 1000 denier, and then I think the new ones are 500D, but verify that before you buy it. Can't remember the specs on that. But the material is very, very strong. It's very overbuilt. I believe the bag weighs around 4 or 5 pounds, just the bag itself. So, you know, it's a little bit heavy if you're going to be doing stuff like ultralight backpacking or hunting. This probably isn't going to be the bag you're going to want to use. But if you're looking for a backpack that you can just throw on and travel around the world and go anywhere on any work assignment, that type of thing, this is the one you're going to use. So what can this bag hold? I just got back from 4 days of camping, and everything I brought was in this bag. And it had room to spare. I mean, easily, you could do, if you were smart with how you packed, you could easily do 7 days out of this bag. Now, that's, you know, including all your clothes, all your toiletries, any extra stuff that you want to bring, sunscreens, that type of thing, quite easily. It expands out quite a bit. And then also with these side straps here, you can collapse it down and make it quite skinny again. But yeah, like I said, you can do a week out of this bag if you're really smart with how you pack, and if you've got some access to laundry. It wouldn't be a stretch to say that you couldn't do that. Vacations, if we're going for, you know, 5 or less days, I just grab this bag and I'm good to go. That's all I need. So it's really, really versatile. Now, the only decision you'll have to look at is whether you want to go with something that's this big or maybe go a size smaller. For most people, I'm going to recommend you go to the 34 liter, the one size smaller than this. It's 20 inches instead of 22 inches. I would say for 90% of people, that's probably going to be the best size. In fact, GORUCK had the GR1, the GR2, the 40 liter GR2, and I think they figured out that people were requesting this was a little bit too big. They wanted a smaller size. So the next size to come out was the 34 liter from GORUCK on the GR2. And that happened like 2018, 2019, I think. And that's been a really popular seller for them. So if it was my recommendation for the average person out there just using this every day, you're going to work, say you're an oil rig worker, you're going to work, you're throwing your lunch in here and all your basic stuff for the day, or anybody that's working, you know, any type of job where you've got to spend the day out somewhere, you know, for your on your work site, I would go GR2 34 liter. Done deal. That's a bag you can take on vacation. You can do anything you want with it. So yeah, just wanted to give you guys a long-term review. Like I said, 8+ years on this, using it daily, and it's not been used very lightly. This thing has been through a lot of places. So yeah, it's been through a lot of airports. Just wanted to give you guys this review. Thanks for watching. And if you're interested, I'm not an affiliate, but check out GORUCK on their website. They got lots of good information there. All right, have a good one. See you.